Thank you. So I'm going to talk to you about Saint Sulpice la Foret. We used to be the smallest smart city in the world, but now we have a smaller. Still in Brittany, in the west of France, we have a city of Andouillé-Neuville with 997 inhabitants. And if you ask me what is a smart city, I will answer I don't know. Because we provide a very pragmatic approach and we use technology to solve some problem. And the problem for Saint Sulpice la Foret was a water leakage detected on the annual invoice. I live in Saint Sulpice la Foret, and the story starts in 2015 at the school. Both me and the mayor had our children in the same school, and it just received the bill, the water bill, with the quantity, a very large invoice for the water. It was the equivalent of 26 swimming pools lost in a water leakage. And he detected this almost 1 year after the water leakage. And once the water leakage was known, they look after the issue and they find it. So I proposed him to deploy some sensors to measure each day the water meter index to be able to detect water leakage very quickly. The second problem is in France, and I guess all over the world it's the same story. Cities have less and less money to operate their services. In Saint Sulpice, there is only 3 people in charge of everything. They are mowing the grass, they are painting doors, they are doing everything, and they are not experts in building automation. In Saint Sulpice, there is not 4G. It's in the country yard. It's really close from Rennes. Rennes is a bigger city, but you don't have a connectivity. And the reality, and it's more and more true, the energy bill increase every year. So it's an easy way to save money is to detect some issue regarding energy and water. So in 2015, we start with a really small project. The city decided to invest 20,000 euros to install 2 gateways and only 30 sensors. We installed sensors on water meter, gas meter, electrical meter, and some temperature sensor inside and outside the building. We have detected very quickly a small water leakage, but we have also detected that in the school the heating system was running during the weekend, during the holidays, and nobody cared about that. So we prove a return on investment in less than 3 years by making 25% improvement on the energy and water bill. It was our first smart city project. Now we have bigger city. We deployed, thanks to this first small city, we deployed to Rennes Métropole. Rennes Métropole is a bit bigger. It's 500,000 inhabitants. It's 43 cities. We cover a very larger LoRaWAN network with 80 gateways and more than 500,000 inhabitants covered. We have more than 10,000 sensors, but Saint Sulpice la Foret is still our labs. I mean, when we want to test a new use case, we go to Saint Sulpice and we test it. We test new sensors, we test new application, and it's easy for us. And once it works in this small city, we go wider, we deploy wider in the rest of Rennes Metropole. More and more, mayor and politics don't really care about the technology. We use LoRaWAN because it's easy. It's easy to deploy. 5 years ago, I was explaining why LoRaWAN was so cool, because it's long range, it's run on battery, but the ready benefit of the LoRaWAN technology is its ecosystem. You can find any sensors for any use case, and it's really cool. It's really cool for that. So, a few words about Y6 Labs. We are a small company of 15 people. We deploy LoRaWAN network all over the world, and we mainly working with cities, facility manager, and industry. And we have a large experience of LoRaWAN deployment, and we go from radio planning to maintenance or network maintenance and support. And we do that since 2014. Back to Saint Sulpice, we provide end-to-end solution. We are at the middle of the value chain. We have our own LoRa network server, and we deploy tools to make easier the integration with third-party application, and we know very well the sensors ecosystem. How do we make this Saint Sulpice la Foret project a success? It's not really a matter of technology. I would say it's mainly a matter of motivation for the mayor and for the guy in charge of the technical things in Saint Sulpice. We provide tools, and if people don't use these tools, you cannot save energy, we cannot save water. It's a new way to do their job, and that's the way it changed everything. So we had 2 phases for this project. The first one, we just grabbed data. We grabbed data, and we saw some very easy things, such heating system running during the weekend, for example, water leakage, but some other things also. Let me explain. In 2016, we thought it was an issue on a sensor, because we detected an overconsumption, water overconsumption, just on Tuesday. So we remotely change the frequency measurement to know when during the Tuesday what the issue. And we figure out that the basket team were having fun in the shower after the training. And it's not a matter of water leakage, it's a matter of the usage of water. And here it starts to be difficult, because it's not technical. The mayor told the basket team's coach, "Now you know I know." And that's it. For the second phase, it started last year. The money saved thanks to the repairing the water leakage and tweaking the heating system in school and in the town hall, was invested in building renovation. So the city installed new heater, and we had some, it's typically French, it's pilot wire system from Wateco to control each heater individually. It's less expensive than regulation. We don't use any PLC or building automation system. The cost for each sensor is just less than €100, and we can manage some kind of regulation using this system. In the town hall, for example, we just switch off the heating in some room. For example, in the archive, yes, where you store the paper, would you just avoid the frozen, but you don't eat anymore. And in fact, you can, in old buildings, where you don't want to put a lot of money into renovation, you can just eat some LoRaWAN remote heater control system, and you can bring some kind of regulation very easily using LoRaWAN. And the second thing we have done is sub-metering. We are at the limit of the benefit of not the LoRaWAN, because it's a technology, you can do what you want with LoRaWAN, but the benefit of adding some meter. Now we know that's what you can see on the screen. You know that the main power consumption is provided by the heating system. During the return, you use a lot of energy for heating the building, and during the summer, it's okay. You don't consume a lot of energy. Now they know. And one interesting thing is the city of Saint Sulpice decided to share data in open data file format. Plus, if you visit the website of Saint Sulpice la Foret, you can see some dashboard that they share with people, and they share the quantity of euro they saved compared to 2015 thanks to IoT. They share what they want to reach in terms of objective. And as you can see on the screen in blue on the left, last year during the COVID, the cost of energy was bigger because everybody in the school, they teach to kids with the windows open because of COVID, and the heating system was running a lot. So you cannot do power efficiency and air quality at the same time in old building. But it's a matter of governance, and that's another story. I would say that the main benefit for this project is to have a better view, a better understanding of how people are using the building. It's true for the public sector, but it's also true in the industry. And when you know how people are using the building, you can make good decision when you want to change something, when you want to make some investment. You can set priority thanks to that kind of measurement and dashboard. So we were it was one of the first smart city projects in the world in 2015. There is more and more now. The first year we saved 20% on the energy bill very quickly, and on other smart city projects it's always the same story. Once you install new sensors, you detect issue. It's always true. Sometimes the issue is small. Sometimes the issue is really big. I remember 3 weeks ago we installed in a building sensors on a water meter. The water meter was delivering 2 buildings, and 2 days after installing the sensors, the guy in charge of facility management called me and tell me there is an issue with your sensors, because there is a water consumption of 7 cubic meters per hour every night. It's not possible. And that's the way he figured out he had a big water leakage, not on the main building, but between the main building and the second one. And if you don't measure, you cannot improve things. It's a step zero for improving a building. It's making some measurement. First, simple measurement of main water meter, main electrical meter, main gas meter. It starts with 3 or 4 sensors. It's enough to see some things. You start with few sensors, and once you have a better view of your buildings, you can add some extra sensors to get more accurate data, and that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ulrich. Yeah, somebody said, I think you cannot improve what you can measure. Sure. I think that's exactly what you said, and I don't remember who said that, but I think it was quite a... Lord Kelvin, yeah, Lord Kelvin, exactly. Thank you very much. If I just want to reformulate one of your sentences that you said, I think for a successful smart city project, you need to have a motivated mayor, early adopter, and someone who really wants to improve the situation. That's really true, because putting sensors just to decorate, this is not the game. You added whatever the technology. I would just add as long as it's LoRaWAN. But otherwise, yeah, that's a very good approach, and it's true that the customer is very important in such a game. Is there any question, the assistant? No question? So just a question, Ulrich, regarding this deployment and the other ones that you have, because this is one of them, but I think you have many of them. Do you think all these deployments would have been possible and I would say as successful as they are today with another technology than LoRaWAN?
So, to be honest, I'm not really familiar with other technology, but the main benefit for LoRaWAN, for example, in the industry, we usually use wired-based technology plus LoRaWAN. If you need higher data throughput, if you need some system with one data per second, for example, LoRaWAN is not okay for that use case. So we usually deploy at the same time with people deploying wired-based technology, and we deploy LoRaWAN. It's easier, it's faster to avoid deploying wire. That costs a lot to deploy a wire, and that's the main benefit of LoRaWAN. I remember in a factory in the north of France, We were working with a PLC integrator. He spent 1 week deploying wire on the roof and so on, from sensors to PLC. And we spent 2 hours to deploy 30 sensors, and then we helped him because he was alone. But it makes deployment really easier compared to other technology. You cannot do everything only with LoRaWAN. There is some limitation, but it's a good way. It's a good way to be complementary with other technology. And in the real life, we never see LoRaWAN only. There is always LoRaWAN plus other technology.
And I think you also implemented some interface or different interface on your base station and on your network modules to be connected to this other environment.
Exactly. We have both the cloud approach, mainly for cities. They have their own LoRaWAN network and so on, and they do what they want. But for facilities in the industry, they don't want to go to the cloud because of cybersecurity, because of data sovereignty. They don't want cloud. So we developed a product called MicroIoT. It's an edge version. We put inside Kerlink gateways at the top of their firmware LoRa network server plus codec. We have 100 of references from multi-vendor sensors. And we have a Modbus TCP stack. And we deliver data into the Modbus TCP table. And then the PLC can read directly to the Modbus table without any cloud.
Yeah, this is a situation that you will encounter very often in smart city and smart building context. I think
yes,
this interface with Modbus is more and more common if you want to interconnect with the automation systems.
The main benefit of LoRaWAN is, from my point of view, is the ecosystem. You can compare the performance of the technology with other wireless technology, but the ecosystem is really great. And last year we had some trouble to source some CO2 sensors. Thanks to the ecosystem, we have multiple vendors, and we were able to source CO2 sensors from different vendors, and we were able to deliver to customer.
All right, thank you very much. So it's the last time I ask, is there any question?
Hello. I wanted to ask you, from your perspective on it and your observation of the whole project, how are you managing the community's expectations? Because smaller community are in a way easier to convince to adopt a solution because they are a real community, and if they see the benefit, they will implement it better. But still, smaller communities are known to be more conservative. For example, I am from Bulgaria. Bulgarians are really conservative for technologies. For example, we do have people that are still afraid of 5G. Mm-hmm. So in a smaller community like this, how are you managing the expectations of the community?
It's not a matter of size of the community. You need to demonstrate to the user it will improve its life. Let me explain. In Saint Sulpice, for example, we had to deal with the technical guys, the guy in charge. The first thing he told us is, I'm going to lose my job, because my job is to report the water meter in an Excel sheet and every month to run some statistics. Then he figured out that people didn't ask him to read the water meter, but he was able to detect by himself water leakage and to repair and to tell, okay, there was a water leakage, I have repaired it, and we saved. He's able to say how much money or how much water he has saved. It's changing its job, clearly, but he has understood that it's better for everybody. It changed his habit, but it's better for everybody, and it takes time.
So you need to be really convincing for the conservative people.
But we have also 5G. We have people afraid of 5G in France. I remember in Saint Sulpice, I had to explain in the school the LoRaWAN technology, and it was not an issue. But some people are really pragmatic. I mean, you explain, you demonstrate, you say, okay, LoRaWAN, you just send a small quantity of data. Most of the time, you listen the environment to detect if there is a message or not, and people are okay with that. Some other, it's not a matter of LoRaWAN or other technologies, they are against everything, and you cannot discuss with them. Unfortunately, you cannot discuss with them. It's not a matter of technology and so on.
Yeah, but,
so
these ones we have the exclusivity in France.
It does help to have the support of the municipality.
Exactly, it's mandatory.
Yes.
You need the support of politics. You need the support of people operating a service inside the city, and you need the support of citizens.
Thank you.
That makes the smart city project difficult.
Okay, so I was saying that it was the last time, but no, I'm going to ask another time. Is there any other question? Well, looks like this time it's no. The answer is no. So we're going to close this last speech of the last session for today and for the event. We just hope that we're going to have other events like that and other sessions like that. And thank you very much for everybody attending and presenting.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.